Welcome back. So before we jump into kind of deep diving more into the components of the display campaigns and make awareness, like I wanted to just cover top of funnel content one time again. In previous modules, we talked about top of funnel, mid funnel, and bottom funnel content. Well, now we're revisiting kind of some of that top of funnel content, right? And now we're using display and YouTube to start bringing those people in. And the main thing that you really want to do is top of funnel is creating awareness, right? It's making people and companies and prospects just aware of what your particular content can do, even that it's available, release dates, sizes, key details, things along those lines. And that's more about creating that awareness, right? And we're going to use stuff such as blogs, definitely ads, image ads and video ads, PR articles as well, which we can recycle and use as blogs in blog or as native posts, industry lists or how-to guides, right? A lot of these things are stuff where you need to give that with them. And a really, really successful kind of top of funnel kind of mindset, I guess, or strategy is offering some sort of educational material or information or how-to guide on your particular product, right? And you do this at the top of funnel, like where they basically click on your ad, and you do this one of two ways, right? With the display ads, the best way you can honestly do is you can get them to the website, then you can create that attach that cookie and start following them around, right? The other aspect of it is to provide like a how-to guide or industry list or some informational article that they have to actually give some information in order to get the content, right? Like my particular thing whenever we started was the 5 things you need to do before you pay for ads, right? This is some valuable information. It's nothing that's going to cost me anything to put it out there for people. And a lot of it's just kind of some stuff that they can find on their own, but it's definitely logical stuff that if somebody's new to online advertising or the online world and marketing their business, then this is stuff that they probably aren't aware of, that they're not, Google doesn't actively, advertise their Google My Business page. There isn't such thing as, being able to submit to directories or even actually claiming your stuff on Webmaster Tools, right? Those are all little tiny things that you can do to increase your business's self-worth or your business's stance on the internet. And it's incredibly valuable to potential prospects out there where they'll give up a little bit of information and do what they call a micro commitment in order to gain that knowledge and gain that expertise, right? It's the same thing with blogs, hey, subscribe to our blog right now, right? If you maybe land them on your blog before they can read the material, they have to subscribe. News organizations have started doing this incredibly well with, Wall Street Journal. They give you like 2 or 3 reads of their articles before they ask you for information for where you have to basically enter into their funnel, right? It's that top of funnel where they're able to remarket industry stuff back to you. And the main thing about the top of funnel is it's more about getting some sort of linchpin, either contact information, establishing that cookie, or if you're using videos, that view, in order to be able to formulate that list and retarget it in some sort of nature with a message that'll work them further down the funnel. Now, as you see in the second part, you're getting that top of funnel is more about where you educate buyers. You give them more information. It's that research phase. It's still in that top and mid funnel area, right? But it's more about giving content that's of value to hook those customers in, right? It may be broader content. It's not going to really be the secret sauce, right? But it's definitely stuff that you can provide that will enable them to understand the better use of your product, how to use it, the proper uses for it, or even just its capabilities out there as well, right? A lot of people may not be aware of a particular product and all the applications of it and how they do that, right? There's a lot of those articles that go around on like BuzzFeed and things like that are like, hey, check out the 5 must-haves that you have on Amazon, right? Well, they read that, and you go on there and they're able, since you're going to their landing page, they're able to attach that cookie and they're able to filter that down, right? They may include 5 different products on there, but based off of their analytics, they can see which ones you've stopped and stayed the most on based on page depth. And then they can use that information to retarget you whenever you get further down in this education phase or the validation of the brand, right? Content and is really key whenever you're talking top of mind and top of funnel awareness, right? Image ads, like, the truth of it is banner ads are really good for getting exposure, right? They're going to be seen, but they're not really great for engagement, right? So a lot of that stuff where you're either hooking them in by giving them some how-to guide or a list or instructions or some value prop, like, like I said, things that I did where it's 5 things you should do before you pay for online ads. That gives them something that's going to save them. That's their WIFM that's going to allow them to click on your ad and go to your website and do that research. Or if it's something where you're doing maybe on Facebook where you're doing some form fills or something to that fact, it's enough information for them to give you a micro commitment, which is some sort of information, either a phone number, an email, something to that effect, where they can continue that sales cycle and continue the nurturing of that relationship as they go down. And again, the majority of the content that's going to be in this that really does really well with this stuff is like blog articles, PR, right, how-to guide. Definitely videos are really good. Interactive GIFs as well work pretty well. But ultimately, the action is that you want them to engage with that ad. So, just having a banner ad up there without some sort of really strong call to action or some value prop as, hey, click on this and you're going to get my secrets to tackling LinkedIn marketing, right? Or, take advantage of this and we'll show you the top 5 shampoos for women ages 14 to 45, whatever. Right? There has to be some sort of niche and something that they're going to get out of it. And it's not just something, the WIFM isn't effective just at the mid and bottom funnels part of it. That WIFM is also very good to key in on and reinforce whenever you're at top of funnel, because that's how they're going to gain that information. That's how you're going to gain that relationship and get that traction where you're going to be able to get that contact information or that cookie placed where you can further that relationship through education and validation and loyalty and research phases as they work down. But if you don't have that cookie lagged on there, then it's it's more difficult to attach your messaging in these phases if you don't have that kind of pre-initiated opt-in or engagement. And so your top of funnel content should be very engaged, very visually appealing, with product. It should have, more of a broader message as far as a value point. Like, hey, ever wondered why people waste money whenever they start paying for ads? Check out my free 5 reasons to prevent it, right? That's going to be a top 5 message because it phrases a situation and puts them in some sort of path and situation that they've been in probably before, right? So it puts them in the bind, and you're also answering that question. And then the WIFM, you're also providing additional value by providing details that they're not going to be able to get, right? It may not even be that. It may be, are you aware of this industry that's going to explode 5,000% before, 2020? Click on our ad and check out what, deep insiders are really finding, right? It's something that's going to either key in on that emotional impact, this top of funnel basis, right? So that's what you really want to focus on when you're generating this top of funnel experience, is stuff that's going to key in on emotional aspects, stuff that's going to key in on FOMO, fear of missing out, right? And those kind of things that people they're going to kick themselves if they don't click on your ad. That's the type of messaging that you should relay through your top of funnel ad. And again, make sure that you're creating experiences where they become comfortable with making those micro commitments as far as entering their information or putting in their first name or giving their email address or something like that at the top of funnel. So that way, if you have those are like a complete experience, basically, right? It's one thing to be able to have just the consumer where they're clicking on your ad and they're going to your website and you're attaching that cookie. Well, depending on if they're an incognito window or they clear their cookies, right, you may lose that. But an even better form is some of the PR or the blogs, or like I said, the how-to guides that forces them to make some of those micro commitments and giving you their information about email or contact information outside of just that cookie so that you can follow them around in multi-channel aspects, right? So you can send them emails, you can catch them on Facebook, you can catch them on Yahoo, right? You can use those lists and you can utilize that email information and those core details to upload into other platforms and retarget on those bases in a very similar way that you would do within Google, but you're able to use that data across platforms. So think about, whenever you're creating this top of funnel content about stuff that's really going to answer questions or solve problems and really key in on those pain points and trying to go that extra step within your forms and whenever the landing page that kind of encourages them to provide additional information, additional contact details. So just in case something happens in the breakdown of the web of the cookie getting lost or something along those lines, that you're able to reach out to them in multiple formats, right? Via email, through videos, uploading their contact information so you can retarget them or even form similar like-minded audiences on other networks is a great strategy whenever you're talking about top of funnel and making sure you're utilizing that contact point in the most effective point so we can work them down the funnel, reduce touch points, and get them closer to making you money at the end of the day. So we're going to move on to the next stage in top of funnel content and talk more about actually utilizing these campaigns and the different strategies that you have in effect so we can further push them down the envelope or down the funnel and get them closer to purchasing your product and recycling them back into upselling and increasing that lifetime value and ensuring that we put more money in your pocket consistently and year over year from those continual clients, and making sure that they also have a wonderful experience and relevant so we pay the cheapest possible cost throughout that entire interaction.